Hi everyone, welcome back to Get Ready With Me, Louise. I'm excited because we are at number 9 of the Motherships. So as of today filming, this is the last Mothership palette, the original Motherships. Number 9, Huetopia. It's kind of bittersweet to be at the end of this. I was originally going to add the 2 Christmas palettes in with these two and then rank them, but I don't necessarily know if that's what I'm going to do or not. And here's why. Because I feel like those would be my 1 and 2 because of the price point and the color selections that are in them. But you can't get them either anymore. So I don't know how I feel about that. But then again, you can't really get all of her 6-pan palettes either. So I'm really not sure how to rank them 2 big ones, whether they belong in this category or not. A, because price point, they kind of are more with the 6-pan palette price point, I believe, than this price point. So I feel like maybe they should be with that. I don't know. I'm not for sure. But anyway, we're on number 9, and this is what this beauty looks like, and it's a beauty. Again, like the number 6, the Midnight Sun, this one didn't get much recognition. It seemed like people were disappointed with it. And I don't know why. Because I thoroughly enjoy this palette. So let's go ahead and start it, and I'll go through it. The first shade I'm going to go to is Secret Eden. I mean, for me, this palette ranks pretty high, to be honest with you. I ain't gonna lie. To me, it's almost like a lighter version of Midnight Sun, kinda. I mean, not really, but kinda. I like this palette, I'm not gonna lie. A lot. And even though it wasn't raved about like the number 6 wasn't raved about, I feel like you can definitely do an everyday kind of look out of this palette, or you can amp it up, or you can make it spicy. It doesn't have, well, yeah, I mean, that darkest shade, it does have it gives you depth. It can, because it can build up. It may not go as deep dark as some of the other palettes, though, I will say that. There is something going on with this Rephr brush. Again, I'm using my Rephr brushes. Or is it my eyes? I don't know. See her pull all the hairs out of it. It's bugging me. But I really do enjoy this particular palette a lot. I'm not even gonna lie to you about it. And this is a pretty shade, like a transition shade or a blending shade. It's got pigment for sure. But you can, like, if you're just like contouring your eye or something, I mean, you can just go with this shade and then throw one of these shimmers on and be good to go. I mean, it's just such a pretty shade. I really do enjoy this shade. As you can tell, I enjoy this whole palette, because I'm saying it, but, and the bad part, while doing this, it's really kind of opened my eyes on the money that I have spent on these palettes and then not use them. I'm going to go into that same shade, Secret Eden, and I'm going to run it on my lower lash line. And part of the reason I don't want to use them is because I don't want them to, I don't want to hit pan or anything. But then I'm like, it's an eyeshadow palette. What are the chances of you actually hitting pan on it? I've never hit pan on an eyeshadow palette. So it's like, what are those chances? Number 1. Number 2, it's probably going to go bad before I hit pan. Now, I have yet to come across an eyeshadow palette that has went bad. But I haven't had, you know, maybe 3 years I've gotten back into makeup. So I can't really say that I have a palette that's, you know, so old or anything. You know what I mean? Yes, 3 years is definitely past what they put on the label, but none of my palettes smell, you know, bad or anything. So I don't believe that the label's correct, number one. But I get it. They have to put it for their own protection. But I just can't figure out why I don't use them. And some of them I do understand why, because, I mean, it's just not my particular color story, and I get that, and that's okay. But I kind of think maybe I shouldn't have bought them. Just saying. Okay, I'm going to go into Extreme Plum Noir. This is the darkest shade in the palette. There are 3 mattes in this palette, and I think that's another reason why I like this palette, because there is the 3 shades, 3 mattes, and I do like to work with some mattes, you know. I don't ever really prefer an all matte look. I'm not going to, you know, act like I do. But I do like to have mattes in my look. On just doing a general look, you know what I mean? But it is going to be hard to rank these. Because in all honesty, depending on the day of the week, I mean, this could change. Depending on my mood, the ranking could change. For the most part. I mean, there are some that just, they're good. The quality's there. The color, you know, everything's there on all of these palettes. Don't get me wrong. Like, you cannot go wrong as far as quality-wise. Okay, so I'm going back into that Extreme Plum Neo, Noir. I can't talk. Noir. And I'm going to start it up here now. Like, you can't go wrong. You really can't. So I'm not going to act like you can. But, you know, depending on your color story, one's definitely going to call you more than the other. However, it doesn't make one less, you know, they're not bad. The quality is there for all of them. It's just a question of what you're wanting. But this here's the darkest shade. And I mean, it's pretty dark. I mean, I feel like you could definitely get it to go darker, and then you could smoke it out and stuff. So I do believe that you could definitely get a darker look with this, but I don't take it that dark. And I think that's another reason why I like this palette, because it can be a lighter color scheme. To me, this is more like a spring palette, I guess. And I like that about it. But I definitely need to play with these palettes more. I mean, I have them. Why not use them? But then I have so many, it's like, when am I going to use them? But then I'm like, you know what? I know what my favorites are now. You know, I know. And that's not to say that I don't like other palettes or anything, but like, my Pat McGrath palettes are my favorite. My Natasha Denona palettes are my favorite. Those are my favorites when it comes to playing. But I also like Lamplight, ABH, Lunar Beauty. Like, I also like other ones. So it does make it a little harder. But then I also know that I don't need all these palettes by no means. So I guess I need to start taking accountability on what I'm purchasing, maybe. But then I want to try, but here's the thing, I want to try all of it, everything. I want to try everything. But it doesn't mean I want to own it. You know what I mean? But I do want to try everything. And a lot of the times I end up giving, you know, I can give them to my daughters and stuff if I'm not going to use them. Which is a good thing, I guess. Okay. I think I got both eyes the same. So hard to tell, to be honest. But I think I do. So I did decide today, though, to use the artistry wand just so you could see it. It's, you pump it up, and it almost feels like silicone, maybe like a wax really formula. I don't know how to explain it. But what it does is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to put this on my lid. And I am trying to be a little bit accurate with it on exactly where I want the shade, because it's not easy. Once you lay this down, it isn't easy to blend mattes. But does it ever grab a hold of the shadow? That is for sure. So I'm going to go into Astral Amethyst Moon. This is my favorite shade. I almost think it might be my favorite shade in her whole collection. Almost think. Look at the shade though. It is so beautiful. Look at it. Oh. And like, I love pinks. I do. Pinks are my favorite. Pink is my color. Like, I am that girl where pink is my color. But this purple, I tell you, it has my heart. I mean, it is just the prettiest purple. But can you see how well this is grabbing? And of course, if I use my finger, it would be a lot more intense going on also. But I have nails, and it never, when I go to put it on with my fingers, it never, like, I always end up messing up. And by putting it like where I don't want it, you know what I mean? But can you see that? Is that not so pretty? Oh, like, it's not doing justice. You really have to see this color in person, to be honest with you. It is just the prettiest shade I've ever, almost ever encountered. And with this color story, like, it's just, And the other thing with the wand, her special shades are very flaky. And it can make a mess. No doubt there. But I don't know if you can see. I got a teeny bit of fallout. Teeny bit. Right here. And that is it. So that says a lot, because these shades are hard to, you know, not get all over your face, to be honest. And this particular thing, I like it because it will hold on to the shadow for most of the day, to be honest. I won't get any fallout, to be honest with you. And I didn't spray it this time. I didn't spray any of these shades, like with anything, because the wand pretty much does all the work for you. So I'm going to go into the Astral Venusson Orchid. And this is another pretty one too. I'm going to pat this because I'm not wetting it, so I'm just going to pat so we don't get it everywhere, because it will go everywhere. And then I'm just going to run it up just a little bit, but very slow, so that I don't get much fallout. And again, you can manipulate these, you just have to go very slow with them. And pat, a lot of patting, to be honest and fair. And I'm okay with that. Some people aren't, but for this look, I'm okay with that. I mean, it's just such a pretty color. And if I sprayed, like I said, if I sprayed the brush, this is a Sigma brush, it would be so much easier, but I just don't want to. But can you see that? Like, that is so pretty. This whole palette, just love it. Just love it. All right, make sure I ain't got no fallout, and I don't, thank goodness. That's a plus for me. I'm going to throw on, this is a Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes Mascara, and I'm going to apply that to the top lashes. Try something new. I don't mind this mascara. It's not the best, though. I like the Pillow Talk better, as far as like Charlotte Tilbury mascara. But this one applied fine. I think that it's a little sample size of it. I'm not even for sure when I got this. I just opened it though. And I was like, why not try it? And of course, like always, I'm a broken record. If you know how to apply falsies, you can really give justice to these looks. Or I guess if you got really long and thick lashes. Which is not me. They're getting better, but they're not nowhere near what some people have, for sure. Okay. Then I'm going to apply the Lancome on my bottom lashes. And we are done with this look. Y'all, ranking these palettes are going to be hard. I'm going to be so honest with you. I really just, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. I've seen ranking videos before from people, and I'm like, I don't know. I always thought, well, it can't be that hard. Obviously, you know your favorites, blah, blah, blah. And obviously it's based on everybody's opinion, on that person's opinion of, you know, what they like and what they look for and stuff, and I get that. But I think that's where it makes it hard for me, because I'm looking at it from, yes, obviously what I like, but then is it beginner friendly? Is it, you know, something a beginner, like, because I'm basing it off of, like, beginner uh, consumer, you know, purchasing. But then again, I know that I'm going to throw my own opinion in with it, because that's just, you know, what you do. So it's so hard for me to rank based on that, you know what I mean? Because to me, it's like any palette with pink would be my number one for the most part, you know? Because I love pink. But, you know, that doesn't mean that's my number one palette. So it is going to be hard, because, like, the quality is there for all of them. There's not one, whatever palette you decide, 1 through 9, the quality is there. So you're not going to go wrong with that. That's for sure. It's basically, what's your color story? It's like pick your poison type of thing, you know? But it's going to be hard. But this is the final look using the Mothership 9 Huetopian palette. Oh, this chapter has come to an end. It's kind of sad. I really enjoyed playing with these palettes. And it's even sadder because, like, I'm sitting here looking at them, and I'm like, all 9 of them, and I'm like, I probably won't play with them again for a year or something, you know? But then I thought, wouldn't that be cool to do this every year? Because you get to see your progress in makeup. I mean, I would see mine, you know, but if you're doing it at home even, you would get to see your progress on how you do makeup. You would get to see how, like, your preferences change, because nobody's preference stays the same year after year. And then what season of life are you in? You know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be kind of cool to do that every year, almost. And oh yeah, 365. Yeah, there's 365 days a year, so technically I could do a palette, not purchasing anything else. I could do a palette a day, and then you know, every year, then change it, go back to the beginning, you know what I mean? And then in a year's time redo these palettes, just to see if A, I feel the same, and B, to see if I have gotten any better, which I seriously doubt, because I've been doing this for about 3 years and my skills have been the same. Like I said, I gave myself about a 2. But my color stories have definitely changed, and my lips have definitely changed. There was a phase where I did hot pink lips. I can see where my older kids were like, "What you doing, Mom? What you doing now?" You know? I could see that now. Then I couldn't. I thought it was, like, looking good, but now I'm like, oh, okay, now I see what you're talking about. So, but that's all I got for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that it helped if you were deciding, like, which palette you may want, that it helped you if you're a beginner or something, or even if you're just looking at the color story. You know, maybe I chose some of the colors you would like, or you wanted to see. So my next video will be my ranking, and it's going to be hard, but we will do it. And until then, I'll see you in my next one. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.